Tai Lopez ads are some of the most effectively crafted ads I have ever seen. And to make a video like this, I watched every single Tai Lopez ad I could, from beginning to end, just so I could better understand the fundamentals of what was really going on from a subconscious level. Now, because I did this, and because I watched so many Tai Lopez ads, and I took the hit for you guys so we could better understand what was going on, make sure to just to give this video a like. Would really mean the world to me. Just a like. I watched probably an hour's worth of Tai Lopez ads to make this video. Just give it a like. That would really help out a lot. Thank you. So with this, let's start at the very beginning. So first off, it's worth noting that there's a common theme throughout his videos, and that's low production value. He films often with his iPhone. And Tai Lopez is a guy that he makes enough money where if he wanted to hire the best camera crew in the world, he could, and they would make Michael Bay look like an amateur. But he doesn't. He films with his iPhone with almost no editing, no B-roll, keeps it extremely simple with his iPhone, and even messes up from time to time, and things don't go always according to plan.
Oh. Sorry. There's somebody here waiting. I'm gonna close the door.
But he just keeps filming anyway, and it's this that ends up working tremendously in his favor. When I first started making videos on YouTube, I was under the impression that you needed really high production value and a lot of quality and great editing to do well and for people to take you seriously and for people to actually watch you. But the first video I ever made on YouTube proved me wrong. It was filmed from my iPhone, and not even the good side of my iPhone, it was filmed from the selfie side of my iPhone, with me basically talking, no editing, no B-roll for 17 minutes straight. And it was that video that ended up getting almost 400,000 views in the first 4 months. And it was that video that gave me my initial break and first wave of subscribers from YouTube. And that actually got me thinking that low production actually has huge advantages over really well-produced content. Now, especially when it comes to money and wealth. Conventionally, the people who are trying to sell you something and are trying to make money with you are the type that are going to spend a lot of money and invest a lot of money in equipment and making it look as professional as possible. And the reason why they're okay with spending the money to do something like that is because they're making money in return. And these are the people who are conventionally trying to sell you something. Now, of course, there are some major advantages of having highly produced content, but in this context, the higher produced content can actually work against you. See, the thing with low production value is that it makes it seem really relatable. It seems like I am just one person talking to you directly. It seems spur of the moment, and most importantly, it just seems really authentic. There doesn't seem to be any hidden agenda. It's just one dude, a phone, and talking to you directly with whatever's coming to mind at the time. And let's be honest, if his ads were too well produced, we would just automatically stash it away as an ad that's really just an extended infomercial. Another overall theme of his videos is that they're visually captivating, whether it's a house.
People always say this looks like Scarface, you know, say hello to my little friend. But anyway,
or a car.
I got other cars. Some of you, this is a different garage.
Or him walking around through an empty farm. There's always something going on in the background. And what this does is that it makes it stimulating and it makes it so that our brains can't predict what's coming next. If I do this scene and if I did this video in one spot all the way through, what ends up happening is that your mind starts seeing it as predictable and then you start to tune out. What happens when you switch it up is that your mind doesn't know what's going to be coming next, and therefore it's more engaged the entire time that you're talking. And also I found as soon as you start moving around, your mind starts to see it as something new and innovative. But one thing I found Tai does really well is his initial hook. Those first 5 seconds are the most impactful that leave you wanting more.
Hey, here in my backyard. People always asking me for a tour. I've just been at this interesting business conference. It's insane. All these 19-year-olds making 70 grand a month.
This Bitcoin thing's taking over the news. I gotta tell you the craziest true story.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
When it comes to these ads, he has 5 seconds to get your attention, otherwise you hit that skip now button. He'll ask an initial question or make a statement that leaves you curious to want to know what he's about to say next. And that creates an initial investment in listening to what he has to say. And it's with that initial investment that keeps you continuing to listen and continuing to invest in hearing him out.
You need to know this.
Somebody asked me for my #1 tip for them to make more money. And I said, look, I'm gonna give you 3 things that made all the difference in my life.
And once you start making these initial investments, it makes it that much harder to click out.
In fact, it's about these 2 pizzas right here, or 2 pizzas like this.
And Ty is able to draft these ads so perfectly to get your attention immediately in the first few seconds. And then from there, he'll usually end up going into a story, and nothing sparks our imagination, creativity, and emotions better than a story.
This is a story of somebody who missed out.
Like honestly, anytime you want to get a point across, a story is the best way to make that happen. A story will end up making a point. It's going to be memorable. It's going to draw the other person in. And more so than anything, it's going to evoke emotion. Think of it almost like watching a movie and then you walk out halfway through that movie. It doesn't happen. As soon as you're emotionally invested, you want to see it to the end, and it makes it that much harder to click out. I've also noticed another recurring theme throughout his ads, and that is the very subtle off-topic humble brag. So he will be in the middle of talking about something, in the middle of his story, and really quickly just deviate from that as he walks past his
Ferrari, Lambo, I got other cars. There's the guest house there, I didn't show you that, but that's the movie theater. You got the gym and pool and poker room stuff. Put the top up because it's cold. San Diego can be cold, so.
Now this is very subtle, but this is a demonstration of authority, and it also gives you a reason of why you should be listening to him. This is also a very subtle hint that he is successful, and therefore you should be listening to what he has to say. And also, because you're in the middle of a story, you're going to be paying attention to what he has to say because you want to get back to the story. So anything he says midway through is going to have an extra emphasis on it because you're already invested in hearing what he has to say.
These 3 things, I symbolize them with 3 letters, okay? Which I'll show you in a second when I'm not walking so much.
And by the way, while I have the car here in the background, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be wrapping this a really cool color. I'm kind of thinking Miami blue. Not 100% sure yet, but that color just looks absolutely amazing. So I'm thinking Miami blue, I have the yellow calipers, and then I'm thinking maybe doing the black stripe down the center, and that would look really cool. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts. But what Tai Lopez does after that is always throw us a bit of a curveball. Before he gets to the end of the story, or before he gets to the point he's about to make, he reminds us that he was the same as us. And he does this by being relatable to the person who's watching. He mentions that he didn't grow up with all of these things, that this isn't normal to him, that he didn't grow up in mansions, and instead he grew up in a trailer park.
How I went from sleeping in a mobile home, you know, with 47 bucks in my bank account, to a place like this in Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills.
I didn't have a college degree. I had no opportunities.
You know, I did not grow up, this is Beverly Hills. I didn't grow up in a house like this. In fact, most of my teenage years, I grew up in a mobile home.
And it's these that somehow make him more relatable to the person who's watching. And therefore, all the things he has somehow become more obtainable in that he came from nothing, and chances are the person watching doesn't have much either. And therefore, he is no different than them. It also makes us think, if he can do it, so could I. If he grew up in a trailer park, what's stopping me from achieving the same things? But then something happens that I've noticed recurring throughout his videos. Tai will never actually tell you the ending to this story. He will never actually get to the points he was telling you he was going to teach you from the very beginning. And in almost every single ad I watched, instead, he gives you a few smaller pointers and then asks you to put in your email instead, and then he will email you the remaining information.
Forget all that. I'm gonna give you these 3 things. Actually, I'm gonna do it on my website because I don't want this to go too long. So if you click the link below.
It's actually on my website. You can click here.
I'll see you over on my website in just a second.
Now, email is pretty low risk, and the type of person who makes it all the way to the end of a Tai Lopez ad is the most likely to input their email and follow through. So even though by this point he's probably only talking to maybe 5% of the audience that even started watching the ad in the first place, those 5% are so highly targeted because they're invested in the information that they're the most likely people to end up putting in their email, and they're the most likely to end up buying something from Tai Lopez in the future. But there's one more point that Tai Lopez uses to push people over the edge, and Tai is an expert at doing this, And that, ladies and gentlemen, is urgency.
Make a change today. Never procrastinate. We live in a world full of procrastinators.
Whether you can overcome procrastination and laziness and actually do stuff.
He sets it up so that you realize it's your loss by not acting on this right now. By not acting on this, you are going to be the type of person who is not going to be succeeding in life.
And some of you are sleeping on this stuff and you're missing out on opportunities left and right. It's not just this 2010 opportunity. That was wave 1. You missed out on that one, but wave 2 is here.
And because you've already invested a few minutes of your life into this, you're in the middle of a story. You want to see how it ends. You want to prove to Tai Lopez that you're not a procrastinator, and you can relate to Tai because you didn't have all of these things just like he didn't. You're pretty likely to put in your email address and see how the story ends. And on a much deeper level, the reason Tai Lopez ads are so successful is that they invoke emotion. It just ends up getting people's attention long enough to listen to what Tai Lopez has to say, and then gets them invested in getting a particular outcome.
I went from having no money in my bank account, figuring out how to make $100,000 a year, then I figured out how to make, $100,000 a month, then $100,000 a week, and now I know how to make, $100,000 a day.
And the thing that I ended up realizing is that most people can't comprehend having $250,000 sitting in a bank account, but they can comprehend what it's like to own a Lamborghini.
Fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills.
And the thing is, most people don't care about the success itself. Instead, they care about the freedom and the lifestyle that it brings them. And when it comes to success, people subconsciously want what they can see, and they want something tangible. They don't care about living stress-free, financially independent in the suburbia somewhere. They care about their visual perceptions of what success looks like, and many times this is with the Lamborghini mansions and attractive women. And this is why Tai Lopez ads were so unbelievably effective. He was able to successfully rebrand the self-improvement and self-help genre by doing something that many younger people could relate to. Typically, when you think of self-help, you think of some older gentleman telling you to reframe your limiting beliefs, but that's not something that a lot of younger people can get excited about because they want something physical and tangible. And Tai Lopez was really able to do this by tapping into a much deeper desire, which just happened to be his first video, Lamborghini. Now, I'm sure there are going to be also some haters out there who absolutely can't stand Tai Lopez. And don't get this video twisted. It's not me telling you how great Tai Lopez is. It's not me endorsing him by any means, but it is me discussing why his ads work so well. And part of the reason why Tai is okay with a lot of people hating on him is because he likes to be polarizing.
People who hate on me don't understand is it doesn't hurt me.
The people who are into him are really going to like him. The people who don't like him aren't going to waste his time. They're not going to watch his ads. They're going to skip away really quickly. Therefore, the ad is free. If you skip after 5 seconds, the person doesn't have to pay for it. So he's already disqualifying everybody who's not even interested in what he has to say. And generally, the people who don't like someone are more vocal about their dislike for that person. So in the process, he ends up getting additional exposure from all the haters. And it's inevitable that if someone is openly disliking somebody, that if they say to 100 people, I hate Tai Lopez, there's got to be a few people in there that have never heard of him, who look into him because one person hates him so much, and then discover, wait a second, I actually kind of like Tai Lopez, and then Tai Lopez ends up making a few more sales. But now, whether you love him or hate him, you have to admit that Tai Lopez ads are some of the most well-crafted ads on YouTube. Now, maybe except the, give me 45 seconds and I'll share with you exactly how I make $10,000 per month selling this wolf mug. That's also a great video. Props to you, Alex Becker, for making that one, because that was actually a pretty good ad. But overall, by understanding what's going on subconsciously, you're able to better understand what's going on and why you do the things that you do, because you're able to understand your thought processes and why things work with you and how you look at information going forward. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you watched it all the way through, if you liked this video, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe. I post a lot more videos about this, about real estate. So make sure, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also smash the notification bell so YouTube notifies you anytime I upload a video. Also, feel free to add me on Snapchat and Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, more so Instagram now, but you can be a part of it there. Thank you again for watching, and until next time. And by the way, I want to make it clear, I'm not against any of these techniques, and I'm not thinking that they're wrong or that you shouldn't do them. But I do find it extremely interesting to always dig deeper and find out why things work the way they do.